Hello. Let's see here. That's better.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
Rick, how are you?
what's
Hello,
up, Andrew?
everybody.
Good
Hi.
afternoon, everybody.
We're back. It's been a few weeks,
Been a
and
while.
boy,
Been a
what a
while.
few weeks it's been. So much that's been going on. I hope everyone's doing well. We've got a couple people here. If you are watching from just the Twitter link, I'm going to just go ahead and say this right now for the NFT giveaway. Uh, Click on the YouTube link. Get in from watching from YouTube from Twitter because you'll want to post in the comments section here the word cheers. Oh, you all right, honey? Hold on one second.
Go ahead. Go scope it up.
Or it's okay. Something happened in the kitchen. She's fine though. No, it's all right, hon. So anyway, the first NFT we're giving away today, as we get into things, I'm gonna bring that up here in a second. Here we go. We got some Jeff Boyardee art. If you're unfamiliar with the artist Jeff Boyardee, go check him out on Litemint. He does all kinds of really cool stuff. These are some of his beer goggles, and I figure 4th of July is tomorrow. It's the summertime. Time to get your beer goggles out. And so what you're going to want to do is type cheers for the first of 2 Jeff Boyardee pieces, because Dolphin went Jeff Boyardee crazy on that wallet. So I figured I would today too.
I love that Jeff Boyardee name since the first time I saw it.
I love it. I love his stuff. There's a couple of things in there that I don't even really want to give away because I'd love to keep them. It's what was it, Star something? That's just incredible. Some of his like space stuff is like insane.
Another Litemint veteran.
Yes, like he's definitely an artist that is growing like a lot, right now. So as you watch him grow, his art just gets better and better. And that stuff's tough stuff to do. It does not. It's not just something you can just finish overnight. It takes a long time. Like I don't even know how to do that stuff. I haven't looked into it. That'd be a whole new set of like software for me. But so that would be the first of 2 beer goggles. We'll get to the other one in a minute. Hello, Travis. I hope everyone's doing good. Renegade's here. Hollow's here. Colette. Good to see you all. So, Rick, before I dive into my experience at NFTNYC, which was
you had an experience, did you?
Yeah. There was all kinds of apes and things. But what's been going on here in the digital world and in the stellar world? Do you have
I think I feel like with the NY convention, I almost feel like everything was kind of at a standstill, for the last week or two, because we've all been kind of focused on, you guys all being there and checking out all the content that was, posted back to us. And then, now with your guys' return, getting more insights and stuff like that. So I think, obviously
a little quiet. I know there's been is Action and Beer Token have a thing going on. There's a little pixel collection from Cheesley, right? So those are different from the regular beer.
Yeah, so we'll do a couple of shout outs real quick on couple shout outs real quick on that. Obviously, Drift Exchange has got the Bottle Bros collection going, and we also have the Sir Cheesley Shitheads, which are currently going. Yeah, you'll have to go check them out. The first 4 Shitheads have
the most tongue-in-cheek collection on Litemint.
Oh my God. They've got about 21 hours to go on the first 4 that have been released.
How many shitheads are there?
I believe there's 30. So
you keep popping in and out of your background there, just saying.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Better than seeing my moving storage facility. But yeah, so those 2 collections are certainly going, and they come with random amounts of drift token.
Is that so? That's regular drift, not drift X.
Correct. We've been doing a lot of drift X stuff recently, and so we figured if we gave some drift token away
out there,
pair them up with your drift X if in fact you wanted to get in the pool. This way you don't have to swap other assets or some of your drift X for drift to get in. So we decided to go with some drift this time around, which I think was a great idea. Of course, everyone's always free to do whatever they want with whatever.
Get your shit, get your drift.
That's it. Get it together. And then the other thing was, I'm sure most of the people that listen to us are familiar with Nuna's NFT club that they've started now.
So okay, so wait now, I am not familiar with
okay.
I saw stuff about it, but I'm so foggy right now from everything.
Yeah. So basically, just a brief overall is that what they do is they're taking snapshots of the top 100 Nuna holder accounts. Okay. And if you are in that top 100, actually it's the first 105 because the 5 Nuna wallets are excluded. So if you look at, whoever's number 105 is actually eligible to be part of an NFT drop for that particular month and time period. So
that's cool. Okay, so it's vaguely reminiscent of what was going on with JPEG months ago.
Yeah, it's somewhat, but there will be a lot of unique scenarios with the club members. So what I would suggest is that if someone's interested, is go to nunaprojectart.medium.com. There's an article up about it, and you guys can read. So I'm not taking up all your time here with that. Right. But it's a really cool thing. And to be honest with you, if you were number 105 on that list, it's not a huge investment to be number 105 on that.
No, we're not talking about a lot of money here.
You're talking about $65 roughly, and you would be like the number 105 holder. That number has increased actually pretty much since
that could change in a day's time.
Right, since the contest, since this club had started. But it's not a huge investment, and there's some really, really cool drops that'll be coming to those those particular holders. So
like that.
That's it on the 2 major projects, and then I just have 2 quick shout outs to artists that I bought NFTs from over the course of the last week. And the first one is simply Michaela's Whimsical Creations. Nice. I bought Journey number 7. I saw it. I thought it was a really, really cool looking. Sorry, I don't have it up to do a share screen.
That's fine. I have some. So go ahead. What's the second one?
And then the other one is Geek Mom. Her Fiery Gates collection. Okay. Was really interesting also, and I snagged one of those. So shout out. My 2 shout outs of the week are to Michaela's Whimsical and Geek Mom.
Nice, cool. I was actually just looking over their profiles earlier because I have particular NFTs from the Dolphin that he wants me to give out to artists on Litemint. So I've been trying to make conscious decisions on who those go to. Mm-hmm. And I know that they're relatively still unknown kind of artists on Litemint. And so I have to find out. I don't think Michaela has a Stella, but one of the NFTs I have up for offer is a Stella. Okay. So I have Stellas and a couple Stella Warriors. There's a couple of Stellar Punks that I'm going to be giving to people. I'm just going to be sending those out, and I'll let them know on Twitter so they can check their wallets.
That's awesome.
This is a different setup. than the other one. So,
Yeah, they both
yeah,
have multiple collections, and it's really cool. It's nice, cool art.
yeah,
I
I
love
was
it.
looking at it earlier. I know
Yeah,
there's a lot of there's so much more uh, every like month on Lightman. It's really great.
it is
Uh,
great.
but I also wanted to just shout out Gateboy, Metal Crazy, for sending me a couple of pieces. Actually, I got 2 pieces from Gateboy in my wallet the other day, and one from Metal Crazy from his Ice Cream Monsters. And that thing freaked me out. That was crazy. That thing was wild looking. Um,
Yeah,
and
so I'll
Gateboy
second that motion.
are beautiful black and white pieces. So thank you so much. I have to get on to Twitter and do that because I also have a piece from Nettie that I had ordered from her that she finally finished. But I'm going to tweet about that. And thanks to Cheesley for the board stuff. My God, he's killing it on those drops. So I hope he watches this at some point. And that's it on the shout outs at the moment. But yeah, be on the lookout, NFT artists. You're going to be getting some cool NFTs coming your way from a particular wallet.
Yeah,
Um,
and I
so,
second the shout outs that you made. Gate Boy sent. I think he dropped Abstract Demon today to
yes,
his
that's what they're,
holders. Yeah,
yes,
and his collection is live right now too on
yeah,
Lightning. So
yeah. There's so many good
check
stuff.
that out.
Check it out. Let's see here.
Check
What
it.
we've got on the giveaway 11 entries. We'll just keep that going for another like 5 minutes or so. I went to this thing in New York. Uh, it was an NFT convention. Uh, and boy, I don't really know where to begin. Like, for one, I got a really okay. I'll begin with the really cool T-shirt I brought home with me. So, I will be like wearing this forever.
Do you have one for everybody?
No, no,
Oh
sorry.
no.
There weren't even that many to begin with. I think like once we get to the table, me and Heather like sworn, we're like T-shirt. Oh my god! So we both immediately took one, and yeah, we all had them from there. But I don't know. Maybe they'll be available one day for public consumption because that'd be cool. This was more of like the promotional kind of thing since it says it's looking for creators.
Mhm.
It's got a better ad on the back too. But basically, we may be in a bear market. NFTs may be dead depending on what you read on the internet or what our headlines are going to tell you, or um, the squabbles between collectors and creators all across blockchains, because it just seems like there's a lot of noise right now in wrapped around all the things that are happening that are actually really cool. A lot of noise, like even at the convention. Uh, the amount of people that were actually trying to deter focus was pretty interesting. It felt like a live version of Twitter, uh, but at the same time, it was extremely positive. Like I can't tell you how many people are going into this 100%. They're not just trying it, you know. They believe in Web3 like 100%. There were a lot of big names there, and I really am still trying to process a little bit of the idea that this is only really the beginning because, um, as a convention goes, I would say it's still in its process of figuring out how they want to handle it. I think they've only been doing it for 4 years now. And to get like 15,500 people attend this thing is pretty positive. And frankly, there was enough going on in the lobbies and around the convention center that people were able to attend for free. So there were more than 15,000 people there. It was in the middle of Hamilton being uh, played that week. So
Wow.
there were tons and tons of people in the middle of Times Square and Broadway. Like it was insane for just the middle of the week. Um, I hadn't seen that area of New York City in a very long time. And it may have been very briefly. It was like a child. So if you're going to go, be prepared to do a lot of walking. Not finding a whole lot of food to eat. It could take a little while to find good food. It's insane that it is a tough thing to do, but there are some pitfalls to this whole trip. But I'd say it's worth it for the experience to see how many gaming things are getting involved in crypto. Just the overall mood has this it's euphoric. It is very euphoric. And I think what I found to be the most surprising was that when people came up to the Litemint table, they thought we were just launching. So they were any person that really thought we were just launching, which was really doing like market research, were met with a surprising response of, "Oh no, we've been around for a year, and a little over a year, and completely live, and this is all the artists." And after that little like bump, it was a lot of interest because it was different from what they had already known. They knew Stellar, but Litemint was a new idea to them. They still hadn't caught on to the fact that NFTs were on Stellar, and there were then the people that did know. Were happy to see us there. Met some people that knew who I was, but I didn't really know who they were. So that was kind of cool. Mostly, the point that Litemint was there was to attract artists to the marketplace. It wasn't so much to get like a lot of attention to compete with other people that are there, but to show artists that there's something else on offer. And that was met very well. I mean, there were artists there that were coming up to the table and were so overjoyed with this refreshing take on what Litemint and Stellar and then Beamy Market was doing their own thing across town, and they were all over the convention. People got to see something different from our community that wasn't there to just show off with a lot of glitz and bright lights and stuff. Like what I found to be a very interesting take on this was how much money was being thrown around, just for the sake of the fact that it was like Tron said that the whole floor that they were on, which was a floor with a lot of different projects on it, was the Tron floor, because they bought up more space than anybody else, but they really took up all that space with a giant structure of red lights and stuff. It wasn't really showing off anything. They weren't really providing anything. They gave out a lot of bags and t-shirts and hats and stuff. I've seen this before.
An expensive backdrop.
Yeah, right. A lot of expense. And what does that really do for anybody? They said they were, that doesn't really help me understand what they do for NFTs, because they didn't have any NFTs to show off. They didn't have any artists' work to show off. They had like this thing that they claim is their like mascot. And I'm not like trying to be critical of something. I'm just saying from an observational standpoint, there were certain networks that were really just there to show off and not really provide anything to the economic structure, the innovative structure. The ones that were actually innovating had much smaller tables, a lot of gaming, a lot of little people that were trying to innovate in the tech space, stuff I had never really heard of.
But that's pretty real when you just get people around that little cocktail table, and just talking one-on-one,
Very real.
It's
you got to meet a lot of different people, everybody's, but they're really positive about it. Like anyone that wasn't so much like so on the side of this is gonna go somewhere and we like what it's doing, and people were tackling real issues. I mean, there was a panel every 10 to 15 minutes for 3 days straight. Wow.
nonstop.
if you were uninformed about cryptos and NFTs, you walked away from that thing learning a hell of a lot. Even if you knew stuff, you were going to learn something new. You know, I I was on more of a, well, how are people? You know, what's the sentiment? How people act? What's going on outside? You know, I tried to get artists that were outside to go take a look. You know, I did different engaging, and I littered that place with Litemint, the little like poster cards all over the place. I went walking all over the place. I made sure that if anyone didn't know we were there, they were gonna know. So uh, that was fun. I'd never seen so many food trucks related to NFTs, and I think that's exciting. I think that like the food market and NFTs are probably going to be the most
Ooh, the punk
real
truck is coming.
engagement, everyday sort of thing. There was this thing there called what was it, like Little Mensch Burgers Metaverse. So they were cooking burgers, but they had like a collection of these little burger characters, and like I thought to myself, okay, this is what it get is gonna get the average person in, you
So
know, some way,
is
shape,
the
or form.
punk trunk is the punk truck
Even if they
coming
never
back?
buy an NFT, they're still buying food, and there's something there, you know. Now, what does that have to really do with NFTs? Well, you know, that's arguable. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are saying that, like, oh, you know, from certain standpoints, NFTs are just merch table items. It's no different than having a you know, a poster or you know, a keychain or something. And I say that then those people are just really not thinking enough about this, and they're maybe a little too pessimistic. Uh, you know, it's not the same. It's really
No.
not. You can at the same time. Yeah, it is merch table stuff if you want it to be, but there's way more going on than that. You know, I think I've found new artists by like 1,000% since I got into NFTs prior to being NFTs. And I'm talking about artists from all kinds of backgrounds, not just my background. It's very easy to learn about new artists that are like myself because I'm out there in that community.
Right.
NFTs brings up all kinds of of mediums and expressions that I think is really exciting. And it also creates some interesting ways of marketing, like hiring a fake Snoop Dogg to walk around New York City,
I love that.
who I did see. And my initial reaction was, that can't be Snoop Dogg. Why is he by himself?
Right.
Uh, yeah, he's like three people were with him. So while there was fake Snoop Dogg there, real Snoop Dogg was at the Bored Ape Fest thing with Eminem. That was somewhere in New York. It's like on the other side, I think, of the city somewhere. And I think it was also like on Thursday. So he was there. And I know someone was in a car signing autographs. That also could have been fake Snoop. So I feel like, you know, if you want to understand what NFTs is, you might get scammed by a fake Snoop Dogg even. I mean, you know, a bunch of people got autographs and photos with a dude that they thought was Snoop. And what, I mean, you know, they didn't pay for it, obviously. I would have known right away. You know, if I had gotten close to that guy, I would have known. But
I could just
yeah,
imagine the
dupe
fake.
dupe snog, or something.
Too
What was he
funny.
signing? Was he signing that? And then people were like, wait a minute. Mint it. So all it was like, it was just wild. It was like a circus, you know. It really was. It felt like this like new age kind of thing, but it had all the contrasts of life, which were eye-opening. Something to uh learn from and appreciate when I look at my own life. You know, when I think about like the tunnel of weird drama people create on the internet, it doesn't compare to real people struggling literally every day. You know, I
Yeah.
was only there for a few days, and I walked up and down those streets, the same path, and there were the same dudes out there hustling to get by with their t-shirts or their CDs, or they were taking photographs of people, and you know, all this stuff can be contributed to the real world, to the real world of NFTs, and just the real world. You know, if these guys have enough passion and drive to be there out there on the streets, they can get behind a computer too, without a doubt, and probably get a better outreach, and then be out there. And then how amazing would that be? You know, it would be, it would really bring together the whole idea of this being a metaverse. You know, that's how that works. It isn't just about the fake reality. We've got 12 entries for the first Jeff Boyardee piece, so I think I'm going to bring that up.
Yep. Good idea.
Yeah. What else happened there? Well, I got to know Sam, Connor, Fred, and June, Fred's wife, Nettie as well, very well. Dixie, I missed Jack. We were like two ships doing this.
Yeah, he says he just got caught up in.
He actually got too far away from the convention, from where his hotel was, so it was exhausting. I mean, I was exhausted being a couple blocks away. It took, by the second day, I had figured out that I was walking around double time to a place that was right nearby. That's how like of a turnaround it is. Yeah. So let's put up one more entry for Jeff Boyardee piece.
Who's it gonna be?
Renegade, Jason. It really wanted to give Jason that.
It did.
Renegade. He's gonna get one of them. That's a sign. Congrats, Renegade.
Rolling.
Yep. Nice. Renegade, you got, not a video file. I don't want to share a video file.
That's awesome. Congrats,
you
Renegade.
Got yourself a beer goggles NFT. If you didn't see it before, it's this one. It's like a metal biker helmet beer goggle. Like, it's wild. I love his mind. He's so creative. Mm-hmm. So congratulations. That's the first. Now I am going to, hey, stop that. I wish they had a better way to do this, but give me 1 second. So, I tried to share some video there. The internet was it was over capacity. It was crazy. We even had trouble like showing stuff off while we were at the table, because the lag. There was so many people. Let's see here. Let's just put not Google's goggles. Now you're gonna want to type that out in just a second. There we go. All right, type goggles to get. We've got another beer goggles. I hope people have a good 4th of July weekend. You got anything planned, Rick?
You're looking at it.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Family coming over. You doing any barbecuing or nothing?
No, nobody. No family around.
Quiet. Just quiet. Huh? Well, you guys had the wedding, right? So that's big doings.
Yeah, we're just going. It's a good long weekend, an excuse to barbecue often.
Right.
That's right.
So here's a fractured beer goggles. It's actually this one's animated. It's pretty cool. I've been trying to figure this one out, and I think it's because since it's blowing up like that, it's hard to figure out what the I think it's like a helmet of some sort, or like a beer guy's skull.
It almost looks like the helmet tilted from the last one. Like it's pointing down.
It could be. It's interpretive. It's definitely interpretive. So get yourself some really cool. That's the cool thing about Jeff Boyardee. I'm going to bring up some of his stuff so people can become a little more familiar with Jeff, and go find him on Twitter too, as my internet.
What's so funny is whenever I see his avatar, his little thing for his collection.
Yeah.
Since I think of Buffalo Wild Wings, I look at it from a distance.
It's the black and yellow, but right? Yeah, well, you put some wings on there, and I take a bite out of that earth.
Like, oh, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh yeah, I'm so hungry. See what happens with imagery? I mean, it burns into our heads. I mean, I can't get, as my internet decides to be stupid. Anyway, go check out his stuff. Please smash goggles in there, like and subscribe to the show. And at this point, we're up to 104 subscribers. I hadn't looked at that in a little while, so thank you everyone.
That's awesome.
For checking this out when you can. And let's see here. Other things, I had some other like little tidbits here. So Litemint's looking for a dev for the mobile app. You can go on, I think on the website, there's a careers page, I think, but you can also go on the Twitter page. Sam's shared it a couple of times. So if you know anybody out there who's looking to get into Web3 development and has mobile app skills, go apply, because that's a big deal. The Litemint app will change everything for the NFTs on this network. At the moment, I feel like the wallets that we have aren't doing a great job for NFTs.
No.
And they really could be doing better. The most popular one still just treats it as an asset like any other coin, and you can't really view them. The links don't work properly. So that's unfortunate. I'm not going to call people out, and I'm not going to say names, but I just know that we've all used them quite regularly. Some work better than others, thankfully. But the very fact that the balance claims page that we use to send NFTs to people and do drops and things, that was created by Frank Reality, Paul on Twitter, does more for the NFT integration than any other wallet system on the network, is kind of crazy, because he's just one guy that did it on his own.
Yeah, I love that thing. I love it.
And he keeps upgrading it. Now it's got a page turner thing. Like, you don't have to just click one NFT and then click the next to view it. You can just sit there and view your NFTs like you're viewing a gallery. He's making all of those additives. I mean, Expo is pretty cool, and it's not well known. It moves very slow on my phone, which is unfortunate. And maybe that's just Android versus Apple. I don't know. Maybe they're not on Apple yet. But I know they have a browser wallet, right? And people like Rabbit. I know a lot of people are also having problems buying NFTs through Wallet Connect. I would suggest people just stop trying to buy NFTs with Wallet Connect right now off Litemint. That's not on Litemint. That's on Wallet Connect.
Yeah, it's the most common issue I'm hearing is Wallet Connect.
And it's the most common issue across all of NFTs. Wallet Connect is very finicky. It's still a beta. That's what they call themselves. They've been around now for as long as I've been in the cryptos, and they're still a beta.
I mean, when I'm on Litemint, my Rabbit wallet just doesn't fail me.
It doesn't fail you. My Freighter wallet doesn't fail me. I have it integrated through Lobster.
Yeah, I'm a Freighter too, but it works every time.
I need to make a Rabbit wallet. Yeah. I've been thinking about that, because I just want something that's a little better. But this is my point about the Litemint app, though, is that when that happens, it kind of puts it all back in house. Okay. Yeah. It's akin to your OpenSea app, or whatever, is that you don't necessarily have to go onto to a wallet app or extension. Just go right on Litemint on your phone or on your iPad.
Do you know anything more about if anything's going on with XBull? Because I know when XBull first came out, that was like our first chance to like visually see our NFTs and
I think larger. I don't know any new updates. I'm sure that they're working on as many things as possible, because I
hope so.
I know that all of these developers, there's only so many of them. They only have so much time, and they have a lot to do. I get that. I know better than anybody to be overloaded and try to manage your time.
I appreciate the tools we have at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that some suit some better than others, of course, like particular wallets for use or what have you. But yeah, I'd also appreciate any more updates that anyone would like to make. So
I do not know, because G was asking about the app. I don't know exactly what sort of features will be available. I think that's at this point, speaking of people that can only do so much, Fred can only do so much, and he's brilliant, and he's doing it all by himself.
Yeah,
he's coding by himself. So he needs help on this app. So really, if there's somebody out there that really knows their stuff, go talk to Fred, because I think he'd be overjoyed, because he's so positive. That's the one thing I learned about Fred. Getting to know him better and being around him is that nothing really deters him, and I'm sure it can wear, but he's so focused. Fred cares about NFTs. He cares about digital art. He cares about it having value. It was one of the things that brought him into it, because of the background of his own life and why he wanted to get into gaming. He was a game developer, and they didn't want to give him the appropriate value. As an indie game developer, you go out to other game marketplaces, and you have to sell your game off of there, but they only want to give you a certain bracket of royalty payback, and two, value. They're not going to say that your game's worth this much. If you believe it, they believe it's worth that, and that's not fair for someone's hard work. That's where you bring Fred into NFTs and how he feels about it. So he has a very calm sort of demeanor about stuff, and nothing stops him about that, because it's really about the passion, and that there's always going to be a bump, there's always going to be a distraction, and that's what they're there for, to be exactly those things. And if you don't let them be those things, then they're not. It was a very interesting, insightful experience being at the convention, and really getting to see the people that I've been interacting with, and we all interact with regularly on the internet. Dixie is a wonderful, beautiful person, and everybody is. Me and Nettie got along like wildfire through Twitter, so it was great to see her there. And Heather got to be there, and people came up to the table when I was out or hustling and bustling. Heather got to show off her baking through the NFT experience, and people got to see that came up to the table, and knowing that she's a writer, and seeing these other things aside from the line art, the pixel art, what have you. We showed people something different. Heather had on Naked Stone's ring, and we were like, that's an NFT right there. Yeah, it's jewelry, but that's an NFT. Pull it up. And, the Phoebe Market Gallery that had plenty of artists hung up on walls. Over 100 people were at that gallery opening.
That was pretty nice. That gallery was pretty nice.
Everything went to plan, really. So it was a really interesting experience. It was stressful at times. It was extremely stressful to do so much in so few days, and flights, and I hadn't been on a plane in 18 years, and it's just like exhausting.
It's a long time, man.
It's a long time, dude. It's a long time. So yeah, it was just like a lot of things, and I found it to be probably not something I'll do next year, because it just was so like draining. I think if I would do it, I would do it every other year. But I greatly encourage anybody to go and see it, because you get the real feel of how NFTs, Web3, and just the crypto sentiment is going on around people. People know about it. Gosh, I ran into a random dude. He saw my shirt and he was like, "Litemint, what network's that on?" I was like, "Oh, Stellar." I was like, "Do you know Stellar?" He's like, "Yeah, I know Stellar. My friends hold Stellar. I don't have any, but let me check it out." He typed it in. He's like, "I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna look this up. Maybe I should get some Stellar." Look, I didn't do anything other than be myself and walk around with this T-shirt on, and it was like a good experience to be like. If someone came up to the table and was like, "Wow, Litemint's really diverse." We had women from multiple cultural backgrounds, guys. It was just really cool to be a part of something that people also noticed was a bit different. And that's the point of it. So, that it was really cool. I don't know really what else to say about it other than I guess the fine art people who are pretending to be into NFTs are they're freaking out. They definitely see a danger to the culture and the value, and that's a good thing. Okay, because they've spent a lot of their time telling artists who are good, who's bad, who's worth this, who's worth that, and people are finding their own value in artists. They're seeing everybody and going, "Oh, I like that. I'll buy it. How much is it?" And that's driving people crazy. That don't want to get this idea that it's very free.
Right. The true physical art, the true physical art guys are not ready to give in.
It's truly they're really only buying particular stuff. They were never going to buy line art anyway. They weren't going to buy comics or chibi art or pixel art or I don't know. It's one of those things where I think they got it wrong to begin with, because I saw some of the wildest art that I've ever seen, that's done by people that weren't going to get that attention, and now they're getting the attention of, "Wait, why are you doing this?" And then everyone's looking at these people like, "Well, we're doing it because we love it and we found our community." So that was a little bit of pushback.
We found our niche.
That's what you're going to see if you go. Will there be more of that next year? Oh, I don't know. I think with the way the market being down too, they wanted everybody to believe that this was going to fail, that people were in some sort of sense of denial. And I really didn't see I saw way more other stuff than Bored Apes. You would think that when you're there, you would see the quintessential, like that's everywhere. But really, there was way more other NFT stuff there than the most popular stuff.
Yeah, I personally think we're too far into it to fail.
No,
it's certainly going to correct itself, and it's going to settle maybe in particular areas. But the innovation, the utility of certain things, that's going to just keep innovating. There's going to be.
Well, yeah, and there's also a lot of change happening. I'm noticing sentiments from I've done a little investigating since I've gotten back online, seeing how these other communities are handling these NFT collections, why people are buying into them. What do they do when they buy into them? There's a lot of spaces, Twitter spaces are huge. They go into these things, they flood other people's spaces, they talk about a lot of silly stuff, and what I'm noticing is pixel collections are becoming memes. They're meme collections. If they do have a sense of utility, then that's great. And I'm talking about particular types of pixels, the ones that are really trying to be the next profile big pixel collection. Here's another one. We've got utility, but here's another one. Really, what people are going off of that is the sensationalism of acting like a meme and hoping that people hop on as well. It's like Dogecoin. in a sense. Not that this is a bad thing, but there is something changing in people's viewing of certain things that are in NFTs and where they go from here. And I think it's part of all the problems of your scams, your rug pulls, whatever may have you. It's unbelievable how many of these are generated. Like the idea that there is a scam over there on the
like
Ethereum
many
network.
other things, it's just it's running that same course as like crypto. You know, kind of you got to weed out this and weed out that, filter out
Ultimately,
this.
it comes from some of these come from one person just feeling upset,
No,
and then it snowballs, and it's very interesting to see this happen even in the larger scale, like thousands of people, and then it all circles back around, and they jump into another little collection.
it's just still in a big evolution stage. It really
There's
is.
so much figuring out going on here, and I think that regardless of how people treat it, the people that are collecting, the people that are coming and going,
Yeah.
the artists have to stay true to themselves, and it might be why so many of them tend to stay so quiet. Is that there is so much turnaround. Like I literally watch these turtle people go from all loving each other to practically all hating each other in 12 hours.
It's crazy.
And that's because no one knows anybody. That's it's amazing how all these strangers on the internet will flood together because they bought into something, right? Because they like it, because they think it's cute or funny, or maybe they'll make a buck off of it. And those are all fine things. I think it's just an amazing experience that I don't think has ever really come from anything else. Because normally we were all taught not to talk to strangers. And now we're all really getting to know each other in the best that we can. And a lot of people just really don't jive with other people. And that's hard to do. So it creates this constant brick wall kind of effect.
Headbutting,
But over at art, it's just it's astonishing. But people still do it. They still come back. They still circle back around. You have people losing their wallets and getting them back. Getting new wallets, not wanting to do it. I don't. I think that maybe that's what confuses people that aren't into this. That they don't really get why there's so much energy. And I think because artists haven't really had a place to really express themselves in art, people that like art, people that like cartoons, people that like games.
Well, that's my favorite. Yeah, my favorite thing about these NFTs is obviously the opportunity that it's given to so many artists to express themselves and even actually make a living doing something that they've always wanted to do, having that maybe their art support them or help them in some way.
It seems like a lot of
it's just opened up a lot of doors for people.
And also the artists that have been doing other stuff. I've noticed a lot of architecture designers that are getting into NFTs, and they're doing little things, stuff that's far from what they normally do, because the work that they do is so complicated, and I think that's really cool to see an artist that normally does one type of thing because it's very structured, it's very fact. You have to get that right when you're drawing buildings and roads and cars, whatever it may be, that kind of stuff for for advertising, for design that is going to be turned around in the real world. You can't get that wrong. Even if it's perfect, it's spot on. It's got to be perfect. And to see perfectionists go into pixels,
you got to make them crazy.
I mean, you can make them crazy, but they also just they go complete minimal. It's they're letting their brains completely relax, and I think that's cool to watch. Is to watch an artist who is so focused peel back thousands of hours of tutelage into being perfect.
Or layers, as you artists like to say, peeling back thousands of layers.
Yes, so many.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. So where are we now? We're at 15 minutes. We've got 11 entries for Jeff, the second Jeff Boyer giveaway. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the giveaway here.
I don't know, G. I don't know that they would do two.
Oh, what? There's another one.
Is that this year? This LA one?
Is there an LA one this year?
Yeah, I doubt Litemint would go to. I doubt Litemint.
You know, there's what is it? London NFTs in the fall.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that I know a few people have been talking about.
Don't know. There's an NFT Expo in LA. I don't know. I think Fred has been doing a lot of traveling already this year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
They're so tired. I know they're still in New York right now, but they're tired. I mean, he didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna give away this. I'm gonna do this draw here, and I'll give you guys a little more insight. Nice, Colette. You got yourself some beer goggles. Congrats. Ooh. Awesome.
Congrats, Colette.
Pop one open later. Send those off to, let's see, we got Renegade and Colette. All right. All right. Now I am going to stop screen sharing that and bring up the third piece. Oops. No, stop that. Who likes Mac Phil's art? Everybody.
Yeah, who doesn't? It's more who's the question. It'd be who doesn't.
Who doesn't like Mac Phil's art? You know, he didn't do many pieces when JPEG was just JPEG before it went to Action Token. But, you know, there aren't many of these. You know, normally he's a one-to-one artist. There were 10 of these, and they all have a home. This one's up for offer.
Well, why don't you just hang on a few minutes while I leave the broadcast so I can go and put in my word for McPhil to enter for this one. No, I'm kidding.
Hold on, let me log out.
Let me log out. McPhil's stuff is awesome.
I know.
The hours he spends. The hours he spends doing that stuff with his markers. Oh my
gosh, he took a break. So who knows what he's going to come up with now.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
He said he's refreshed.
Yeah. I've been mostly breaking myself, you know, because it was so tiring. I was completely wiped from that whole trip. So, and then we had to come home and just like a lot of stuff, just trying to get back into being in a normal. It's amazing. Like it wasn't that long. It was just a couple of days, and yet it felt like weeks. It was that typical crypto feeling. Yeah, Heather said it's also probably just New York City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
That's the other thing. So this one's a bit longer. You're gonna have to type out Trippy Mountain. Hold on, let me get that up on here. All right, Trippy Mountain to win yourself some MacPhil art, and I'm losing my internet there. Wow, it doesn't like when I share stuff like that. That's crazy. Trippy Mountain. Really, you better type that in, people. I know you're like, oh man, you're gonna make me type out all these words.
Trippy.
Too bad.
It's well worth it.
It's well worth it. So Fred spoke for 5 minutes at NFTNYC. There was one panel, like one speaker after another that came up. What was it? Wednesday afternoon, I think. And he had 5 minutes. He was so nervous he did not sleep a wink the night before, like not one. He tried everything, working out, you know, he did coding, and they were already jet lagged. It was crazy how nervous he was about 5 minutes. I really love him so much. Like he's just so amazing.
But yet he spoke before people and audiences previously.
He spoke for 3 minutes in front of Jed McCallop before. He said he was super nervous, but that's like how genuine he is, and how like how like down to earth.
Yeah, I
You
get
know, he's got no sense. Like when he shows those pictures of him wearing those aviators, that's the most flair that dude has. He's just very down to earth. It's
yes.
like it's crazy the amount of people that came up with their huge egos, and Fred,
Yeah.
smiled and chatted and took it.
Still one of us.
It's just it's great. So he was so concerned about his 5 minutes, he did it in 3. Um,
Just
but he had the PowerPoint up, and everybody loved it. He was great, and he
just
came up to
ran.
me. And I was like, "Don't pass out. You're gonna be fine." And he came up to me afterwards. He's like, "I didn't pass out." With a big smile on his face and 2 thumbs up. I was like, "Love this guy." And that was it, man. It was like pretty cool. Sam met celebrities, and I told them about Stellar and Litemint and stuff. I'm guessing, like, I don't know what kind of elbows he was rubbing. I know like some of them, but Sam does his thing. Like
Yeah, he
Sam
does.
Connor's got like he was focused on the things he needed to do there.
Yep.
Everybody had a job. Everybody knew what they needed to do.
Yeah,
Um,
he's great.
so there's a lot in the works, like so much. So yeah, if you were feeling a little uncertain about NFTs, don't worry about it.
Yep.
I wouldn't worry
Exciting
about it.
stuff.
Yeah, it is.
More to come.
Colette's having phone issues today. Oh, well, you won, so it wasn't that much of an issue. So one thing that I just wanted to make some of the artists aware about is the ins and outs of getting royalties on art on Litemint, on Stellar. Fred at the moment is waiting for better integration with smart contracts. He could pick turrets. Okay, the Stellar Turrets program does work, but it requires a constant person to be on the turrets to do the transactions. I guess it's like essentially like a validator. And if that person stops, the all those royalty transactions stop. So he doesn't want to leave it up to someone doing it, not doing it for the sake
Manual.
of and having to then ditch it and start all over again. So when he explained it to me like that, I completely understood that um, this is far too delicate to just bring something out, because you don't want to have problems. You don't want payouts or things to just stop. The smart contracts will do it all on its own through the coding, and they're working diligently on that. And people that were working on turrets have now moved over to the smart contracts too. While there are probably plenty of people at the moment, I don't really know, how busy that is for smart contract, the turrets devs. But Fred felt like it was too much of a risk in the long term, even in the short term, because it needs someone to be diligent in their work. And I get that,
Well, the priority right now with Stellar seems to be that we're finally at that stage where the smart contracts, it's inevitable and imperative that this happens. So I believe the goal is, here in this next quarter, or last quarter, what have you, to hopefully have this completed and available,
yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, either way, it's a positive.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that as a developer, he's taking in all sides of situations, and while that may be hard to understand from certain aspects, or people not getting the information they want, uh, it's about time, and I'm hoping that if Fred finds another developer for the mobile app, there'll be someone that can also help him on many other aspects, because I think it's a matter of You know, he has a vision, but he also needs help. But how do you find the right people when there's only so many people to find anyway? So I'm hoping that the convention also brings in more awareness from Web3 developers who are very focused on Ethereum. Um, Maybe spend some time somewhere else too, you know. Uh, and I think that that's going to happen. It's only really a matter of time. There seems to be, uh, I don't, I don't know. Aside from the real artists that are out there on every marketplace, they're amazing and super talented. A lot of the things that are going on like OpenSea, um, I don't know. I think it's an evolution. It's like you said. It's a huge evolutionary process,
Yeah.
and we're in another stepping stone here. Um, People are making up collections very quickly. It seems. And now it's more about the website and the free mint and the getting your sales, um, getting your sales at all from secondary market altogether. Give it all away, and then hope that a community picks it up and sells them back and forth and increases the rest of the communities to
Hey,
buy.
it's another concept or avenue, right?
But that's what I've gathered.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a thing that's moving around. I think artists should just do whatever they like. If that's what people want to do for stuff, it's kind of cool. There's a lot of people that are doing some cool stuff. They're fun. Um, Someone grabbed that. I don't know if you saw the NFT protesters, right? That came around. The God hates NFTs. So
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
day of the NFT convention, someone paid like a handful of people to go to NFTNYC and say that God hates them. Uh, and all this sorts of stuff about freeing the Earth from blockchain. It was weird. The most random little group. So someone took that and made a collection called God Hates NFTs. And essentially, it's just Rick and Morty art that someone decided to
Mm-hmm.
use. Um, but they're funny. They are. It's got all
I
these
saw that.
ridiculous little protest signs. It's trending right now.
I
You know,
saw
you,
it.
you could have bought one for again now. You could have bought one for probably $100 when they came out on the day. People minted them for whatever they were, and now they're worth half an Ethereum, and they're probably just going to keep going up. Because of the whole sentiment. You find some sort of thing and people go wild over it. I'm trying to figure out how to get these collectors to be just as interested elsewhere. That's taking some time. You know, um, there are plenty of people that do appreciate art regardless of what network it's on, but there seems to be still this huge uh, just wave of adrenaline, the rush.
Yeah.
There's still that rush, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think we need these bridges, man, so that we all can become one, you
yeah,
know. Um, I mean,
but that's
that's,
why I wanted to learn about them.
yeah,
I want to engage with more of them. Like
yep.
even though they're buying like $10 pixel NFTs off of Ethereum right now, these are some of like the largest collectors out there, and if they could even look for a moment, and
Yeah.
geez,
We just need bridges.
there's so much here.
We need bridges.
Oh
Lots of,
yeah, and they're coming. I mean,
yep,
like it happens every day,
yep.
and when I look at how much the other marketplaces are changing, or like say like eBay buying who they buy, um, the name escapes me at the moment, but it was a pretty popular NFT marketplace, and when you look at stuff like that, uh, yeah, there's going to be a huge change in sentiments again in just a blink of the eye, and I don't know if eBay will do it right, because I don't think they will. But they're going to try, and I think from a standpoint of other collectors that are out there that might find interest in this, it it could be a good thing. Your comic book collectors, I just
We
hope
don't
you
know
go
where
and collect somewhere else and not necessarily on eBay. That's really all, because if anybody that is familiar with eBay and loves being a collector of anything, they know that eBay stopped caring some time ago, and that's just, we've had to find other avenues, and their fees are going to be out of control. I just know it. That's the other thing. There's none of that happening on Lightman, and when people saw the different sentiment about how cheap it is to mint, how cheap it is to transfer,
Yeah.
Fred's not taking a cut. People kept asking him who was funding Lightman. Fred funds Lightman.
Yeah.
100%. You want to know where the money comes from? It comes from Fred. It's not coming from anybody else. So this is his risk, making this work.
Right.
Something like Rarible. I don't think it was Rarible. It was one of those that was like Rarible. It was pretty popular. I hadn't heard the name in a while, but I knew the name. So they must have not been doing so great. I don't know. That's just one of those things.
Well, Fred's risk will be Fred's reward too.
Well, so that's the thing. That's my point, though. He got denied first time around from the Development Foundation.
Yep, I'm aware.
There's plenty of projects that are gonna go and not gonna go and gonna go, and like you don't know when your time is. And thankfully, we have Lightman because it's just so great. When I think of like this compared to what's going on now, I'm still the most attracted to how NFTs are being handled on Stellar. So that's like what I can say from anything that was there at the convention. And frankly, I think we showed off more art than other people did.
Cool.
A lot of there was a lot more about like just the sort of put your NFTs on this, look at this thing, or there was a lot of that, and we definitely focus more on like this is where you come to find art, and this is how you can get real art. It's amazing how much you can actually get from people off of Lightman. That I don't know if I've really seen that much like elsewhere, at least not there. It's pretty cool. And
how many we got for the next drawing here? 11, 12?
10 entries for Trippy Mountain.
Ooh, better odds. We lost a couple.
Yeah, sometimes this thing gets a little finicky with the collecting. So
yeah, I mean, we're dealing with our 4th of July weekend too this weekend.
No, I mean like the giveaway tool. Sometimes it lags behind. I've had that happen.
Got it.
So I hope that's not the case here. And well, we're at an hour and 8 minutes, so I'm going to bring it up. So I think what we're going to do, Rick, is we're going to do the show every other week.
Sounds good.
That way it gives us time to figure stuff out. If there's anything like notes that you want to note it, like you notice something. If I can organize guests again, it gives me that time to do that. Doing it every week, I was noticing like days would just start to go by, and I'm drawing.
It was time.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god, it's Friday. I have oh boy, gee, this isn't working. It's too much. So
the only time we want time to go by that fast is when it's Reward Sunday.
Right.
That's it.
Today. Gate Boy.
That is so funny that he said that. That is hilarious. Oh God, that is hilarious.
Nice. You got yourself some Phil art, buddy.
That's awesome,
dude. Okay, so for anyone that didn't tune in earlier when I was talking about other giveaways, I've got some pretty cool art that Dolphin had bought It's of my own. I've got a Stella, a couple Stellar Warriors, and 2 Stellar Punks. Now, one of the Stellar Punks is an animated punk. And the other, actually, at the moment, I'm having a problem viewing it on, excuse me, on the wallet. I don't know what happened there. Like, it's literally not coming up. So I have to find out, 1, what's wrong with this punk, and 2, what's wrong with this punk.
We have a sick punk.
Yeah, it's not showing up. It's weird. And 3, if if it was one that just got somehow errored out from his quick buying, which I just don't believe it's possible. I just don't understand why it's not like coming up at all. It doesn't even say what number it is. It just says the coding, the coded like my code S-Punk.
That's weird.
So that's unusual. It's not. It's like dead. It's like a dummy or something. So if that's the case, I've got a couple of punks that are in stock, and I'll give out one of those to somebody too. The point is that the Dolphin wanted. I've mentioned this before. He wanted me to give out some art from his collection of buying that were a little more higher valued than some other stuff to people who just might need it. And I tell you, you also get some cool drops too for having a Stella or a Stellar Warrior. You're still going to get land even if you don't have a castle. So, and the animated Stellar Punk is pretty cool. You can, if you wanted to turn that around, you'd be more than welcome to, whoever gets it. I'm going to drop those to people sometime today until tomorrow, and tweet out who that is, and just keep an eye on your wallets.
Yeah, this right here, Debbie, that punk that you posted today, that lady punk.
Yeah,
that thing is smoking.
Oh, thanks.
That is awesome. Love that one.
That's my idea of her. Like I gotta get back on the story, the comic book strip. But yeah, Heather's helping me form out some more story on that, so she's going to be writing. But I had that idea with that one is that if you've had the comic strips that I've gone to so far, she's on a planet that I don't really think she's going to get off of, and I don't know how long that's going to take her. So that was an idea that somewhere in the future she does get out of there, but it's going to lead her somewhere else and not home. The adventure wouldn't be over. It would probably be more harrowing than it was before. So that was the idea. I like to create these little stories in my head. I started drawing that back in December, I think. January?
No, it's amazing.
February? I don't know. Something like that.
Totally awesome.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Cool.
I don't think there's anything else. So Gate Boy, Colette, and Renegade. Those are our 3 giveaway winners this week.
Congrats, guys.
We'll do a few more, not next week, but the week after. So, Rick, thanks for coming on again, as always.
Of course.
Really appreciate it.
Are we gonna keep time format same, 2:30 Eastern?
Yeah, let's do afternoon. I was only doing the morning to suit my previous co-host who was in London, so that was a huge time gap.
I get it. Yep.
What's that like? That's like 1:30 for you, right? You're an hour behind me.
Yeah, it's all good. Same thing, but different.
That's all. Exactly. Yeah, I figured the afternoon's better. I think it confused maybe some people, and it's the holiday weekend, but that's all right.
Sounds good.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and
everyone be safe tomorrow. Have fun.
Yeah, everyone have fun. Have safe fun, or if you're not going to be safe, just don't tell anybody about it.
That's right.
That's like a responsible thing to say.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah. Have a great 4th of July, everyone.
Yeah.
Much love. Take care.
See ya. Bye.